Alright, we have encountered one of those pesky locality problems. So, this is the, in quotation marks, vertibird for this Fallout campaign. And the players recently decided to use the mechanic that they had rescued to give it an upgrade. So now this is definitely an M2. See, it's an HMG, and if you get in the gunner, see up there in the top right corner, it says M2, 12.7 millimeter. Yeah, that's an M2 gun, right? It looks like a minigun, but that's just because, I don't know, bugs. Anyway, the other upgrade that this got was that this is a fusion-powered aircraft in order to, get around the whole fuel issue, although I think those just, like, run on ethanol or something. Who knows? In any case, the recharger on this has been fixed, in quotation marks. So, if you were to get into this, you start out with about half of the battery fuel container, and it slowly recharges over time. However, that is not happening at the moment. I hit this fuel verde, and it's just going to stay at 5175. It should take 30 seconds for, I think, an extra 0.05 or something. I think I did half a percent per minute. I figured out the values so that after each of our sessions is about 3 hours. So after 2 hours, if you haven't used the vertibird, it should be completely full. And it gives you, I think, about 30% of the gas tank per hour. So it's not as limited as it was, but it is, still a little bit time gated. But if I check 5170, 52... Okay. No, hold on, we still got this locality problem here. The test that I did earlier was I sat in the pilot's seat and I just kind of looked at the fuel gauge up in the top left and was wondering if it would keep going up. Yeah, okay, so I think I just got rid of some of the gas in here because locally it said it had 5175, but the server said it had 52. So I thought for a second there it might still be working, but now I've just discharged, a quarter of a percent of the battery there. I think I'm doing a quarter of a percent per 30 seconds is the current math, just so that it all kind of works out in the end. 1% every 2 minutes. This does have a camera on the bottom with, all the white hots and that kind of stuff. Okay, but I've been messing around and the fuel values are giving inconsistent values and it's not quite working the way that it should. Let's see, the code is over here. And this is I thought this would be simple enough, but then I remembered, aha, there's some locality issue. So, this is spawning a function that is only going to be here because it only really needs to work once and be kept track of. And that is just a while true. So during the entire mission, this will never stop running. Wait 30 seconds and then take the current fuel that is in the vertibird and set the vertibird to that amount of fuel plus an extra quarter of percent. So quarter of a percent every 30 seconds. The fuel value is just between 0 and 1. 0 being an empty tank, 1 being a 100% full tank. And this doesn't work. The major bug that I saw was if you actually go into the server, and this is the proper server running, I can actually log out, and it will have me logged out. So now I don't even have the console anymore. I'm currently playing in this server as a player would, and I just hopped in the pilot seat, and I waited around to see if the fuel gauge would go up, and it didn't. So that is an issue. That issue is, I believe, caused by the locality. So when you get into the pilot seat of a vehicle, the locality of the object is switched from the server to your client machine. That gives you finer control when you are piloting a vehicle, because when you are piloting the vehicle, it is a little bit more important that you get the feedback immediately rather than everybody else um, in the passenger seats or even the server itself, because if, you know, a little bit of lag on your control inputs means you might crash a helicopter. And it is a decent system. I'm trying to think if there's like a better way to do that. But we're not here to criticize Bohemia Interactive. We are here to criticize my code. So we need to figure out how to synchronize across all machines the fuel value of this particular vehicle as it goes through its recharge. And to do that, we are going to need a fun thing called, I believe, remoteExec or remoteexecute. Fuck, it's one of them. Actually, I could probably, Google's taking its time right now. I've probably got one in here somewhere. Yeah, remoteExec. So, of all things, the pp-smack code, um, this code is run on a client machine, but it has to transmit to a different client on a different machine that their character's PP has been smacked. So that's going to require this remote execute. And the remote execute just says, hey, I want you to take this, in quotation marks, function, which is going to be my PP smack, give it to a machine, or give it to the machine where this object is local. So this is the target. The smack action, the smacking of the PP, happens against some other object that is local to some other machine. So this function can take, or yeah, the remote execute function can take in an object, and then it finds where that object is local and runs it on that machine. And then false is just for join in progress. So if you want the server to keep track of if they need to run this on a machine that is newly joining, you put that true. But since the PP smack is not going to happen to anybody who isn't logged in, that can be false. You don't need to keep track of every PP that has been smacked. Even if you did make that true, I don't think you could, but regardless, we're going to need to use similar code in order to set the fuel, no matter who is currently in the vertibird and who is making it local to their machine, and have that recharge while it's happening. So we're going to keep the while true here. And I'm trying to think if the server should be the one that broadcasts this and has everyone else use it, but let's see. And yeah, I got to do a little bit of work on how the function's actually going to work in the background. So we're going to go ahead and I'm just going to go ahead and comment that bit out so we still have that code to reference should we need to. Yeah, it didn't look as cool as it did. Let's just put it like that. Okay. So I can't just put it here because this init.sqf code runs on every machine, and if every machine then tells every other machine to also run the code on their locality, if 6 players join, then the vertibird is going to recharge 7 times faster than it should, because the server and all 6 clients are all telling everyone to do that action. So this needs to happen once, so I think it does need to go into this server here, or into the server only code. Let's see, let's go ahead and start the remote exec call here. And I am I'm going to scroll down in here, and yeah, I think we're going to make nothing needs to be passed in, so that can just be there, and then this is going to be Okay, some kind of code, which we're probably going to go make, and then -2. Okay, remember these numbers here. So the function command will be executed globally on the server and every connected client if 0 is in there. So you don't have to give it an object. So remember, as I said earlier, the function command will be executed whether the given object is local. That is something you can do. The string you can also do. A side you can do. That's interesting. I didn't know you could throw a side in there. Group, array, etc. But we're going to be looking at the number 0 here because if the vehicle is sitting on the tarmac, on the server and every connected client, including the machine where, okay, so that should, yeah, that should work. So if the vertibird is sitting on the tarmac, then the server has a locality and should update it, but if someone's driving it, then that command also needs to be executed on their machines. And I think I can just throw this in there. The server just tells everybody to run that code, and then I think it just kind of, if it runs on a, we're gonna see. I want to say that if this code runs on a client where the object is not local, nothing happens and it doesn't throw an error because I think it knows the variable is there. We're gonna play around with this because this is one of those interesting functions where you're not trying to. I think a couple of missions ago I had like an alarm system, and I wanted the blinking lights to be on client side because I didn't want like the server messing with all of that. So each client got the like the message to turn the lights on and off, and that was just a we are going to call this the vertibird recharge. There's another time I did this and I think it works this way, but I'm gonna be interested to see if an error is thrown because the vertibird isn't local. So like, would the client even know to do that? I think it'll ignore it, but I'm curious to see how this is going to work because currently it doesn't work. And I think that is going to be just the oh right, is there a remote exec? Does that call or does that spawn? I think remote exec spawns, but I think you can also change it in order to have that. I don't think so. Oh, remote exec call. Hold on. That's it, I think. So yeah, remote exec is a spawn, while remote exec call is a call. Execution always takes place in the unscheduled environment. Okay, earlier, the scheduler. It wasn't a priority queue, it was a scheduler. That's the word for it. I forgot that word. But yeah, scheduler is part of the game engine that decides what scripts run at what certain point in time, and yeah, it's the scheduler. Okay, so to add on to the previous tutorial, that was called a scheduler. And yes. Okay, let's see. The direct execution of call or spawn via should always be avoided. Yeah, we're not calling and spawning. We are defining a new function within the initialization script, and we should probably put it into, because this vertibird is going to keep going along with us, so it wouldn't be a terrible idea to throw it into one of these. Maybe like the initialization of the arsenal or something. There should be like a Hyperborea init in here somewhere. But for now, we're just gonna throw. Actually, where did I put the? I put like the. I put the other vehicle inits and dumb shit, which is probably not the. I mean, it's kind of an okay idea because we're putting in the stupid plates. But anyway, for now, this is going in the init. It should probably be somewhere better. And I think I'm just going to toss in this while true in here. Um, it wouldn't hurt to just run it and see if it works. But I'm trying to think about why that feels wrong to me, and we'll probably figure it out. Okay, anyway. That and oh, true. We do want players joining in progress to have this, yeah, to have this function put onto it, so that if a player joins in the middle of a mission and they get in the vertibird is still charging. Because if you only give it at the beginning of the mission, then someone could drop, reconnect, and then they don't have this recharge script attached to them, so they won't be able to do it. And I don't think I need this little bit at the beginning here, but that's fine. Okay, so we have put a remote execution onto the vertibird recharge. That should hit all clients and the server, because it's got a 0 there, and it should get everyone joining in progress. And that code might need to be changed, but we're going to go ahead and save that. And then I need to drop all the way out of the mission, like all the way out. That's the launcher, so I need to go to the console here and just kill the server. Alright, and then we are going to go into the editoire. Actually, I don't think we necessarily need to. I'm just testing this, and I have to do it in the dedicated server environment. So instead, I'm going to make sure that is saved. That is saved. I'm going to head over to my MP missions. I'm going to go ahead and shove this into a PBO. I'm then going to take this PBO and toss it in the server and replace the file that is there. Alright, and then I am going to launch the server. Then I'm going to get out of the... Come on. Okay, I'm going to get out of the editor. Then I'm going to sit on the LAN network because the server broadcasts not only over the internet but over LAN, and it lets me connect a little bit faster. Just whenever the server decides to come up, it is still initializing the add-ons. Yeah, locality issues are hard to detect in the editor because the editor is the one place in Arma where the host client is both a client and a server. So it will run the server-side code, but run it as if it's a client. It gets wibbly, and you want to make sure that if you're doing any major if you're making any like big things of code, like, you know, a save system or something, you want to make sure you test it both in the Eden editor environment and a dedicated server environment. Just because there's always those couple of locality issues that you didn't quite pick up that will make themselves present when thrown into the dedicated server environment. So this is why I am waiting for this server to set itself up, because this test is important. Anytime now, server. You are there. Probably not doing it any favors by running OBS at the same time, but that's fine. Trying to think of more informative things to say while I wait. That ain't really... Oh, aha, I just got a little impatient. There we go. Okay, let's hope this works. New mission file is good. That means I didn't fuck up copying and pasting the PBO into the server. I am now in the process of receiving the mission file from my own computer. This has to be the closest thing to my machine masturbating itself, I guess. Those errors are normal. I think there's a doctor's bag with a texture missing in the prefab that I used. I gotta go through all of that and find what I need to delete, because there's a whole bunch of shit in there. Just a whole bunch. I might even like half the clutter in that, which will be another video. Right now we are testing the fuel recharging, because this is a little thing. It's something I've always wanted to implement, because the players were chafing at the fact that they didn't have enough fuel, but I didn't want to just give them a full fuel tank, because that's not quite how that works, because it is a fusion, supposedly a fusion vertibird. So at the beginning of the mission, like, they had recently flown the vehicle there, so it has to have a little bit missing, but it's still got, you know, onboard power, so it should recharge. Like, I'm trying to make it fit the story more so than nerfing the players, although the side effect of nerfing the players is useful. Okay, we are here. I am going to now log in. I have mistyped that. Okay, we now have that. Local exec says 4525, server exec says 4525. We are going to sit here for, let's call it 2 minutes. We are currently 22 minutes into the recording, so at 24 minutes, we are going to check the fuel gauges again and see where it is. In the meantime, I am going to go point out the snowmen over here, because these guys are a little bit more hidden than I meant for them to be. Especially these two on the right, because they just blend in with that snow really well. But this is Mission 4, so there are now 4 snowmen. The players only realized Mission 3 that I had added a snowman for every mission that we are doing, so there's that. That one got the flesh tank license plate? Is that really? I guess it is a license plate, actually. You know, I never looked at the texture this close. This one got Uwu 621. Nice. We are only 1 minute in, so I'm just going to go ahead and take a hit from the calorical and see what happens. You know, I forget how long this lasts, and I think it lasts more than a minute, so... Doing little things well is a lot like playing tennis if you have no time to go a little berserk. What? Okay, one, the calorical knows. It just knows. Doing little things well is what I'm doing right now. It's just a little script, but it's a lot like playing tennis if you have no time to go a little berserk. I'm still trying to figure out what the calorical means by that second bit. I don't know, I guess I don't. Actually, we're on 24 minutes right now, so as I am coming down off of the calorical, we are going to check the local exec. It is 4625, and the server exec is 46.5, but that's because it just went over. Alright, so it looks like outside of the vertibird, it is charging, and it is currently at 46. Yeah, 465, right? Okay, it is still at 465. I'm now going to get into the vertibird and see if it continues to charge. And You know what I really should have done? I should have taken another hit from the calorical, because I'm going to be sitting here for another minute or two. So we are at about 25 minutes. I'm going to wait for 26, let's say. And we were at 465, if I'm not mistaken. So previously, the bug was that if I sat here and did nothing, then the fuel would not increase. So, or it would stop, or something would get in the way of it, or the behavior was inconsistent. And in about 40 seconds, we will see if we have achieved consistent behavior. Does it have countermeasures on it? I don't mean to distract myself, but, you know, I got 20 seconds. It does. I don't think they fired out appropriately, but there's a beeping sound. That was kind of fun. Yeah, I did it again. Okay. You know, we're at 26 minutes now, so server exec 465, local exec 465. Okay. That is not supposed to happen. So, how have I fucked this up now? Because it's still at 465, right? And we've waited. Is it still going up outside? Or... I think I should put... this isn't a great solution, but because it's only running every 30 seconds, I think I'm going to try this. But I think I'm going to reconfigure this so that every 30 seconds or so, the server is going to say, hey, increase the fuel of the vertibird by 0.5%, whoever happens to have the locality. I'm wondering if it's still going. No, it has just stopped. Okay. So the vertibird has just left locality and has gone somewhere else, it seems. Yeah, and we spent another minute. Okay, so now we go back into the code. Alright, I think this, yeah, we are going to... Alright, we're going to go back to this bit of code here, and we are going to spawn this, but instead of sleep, yeah, we're going to do a sleep 30, and then vertibird recharge is now just going to be see the fuel of the vertibird, and then set it to that new value, and then the server, every 30 seconds, will then do this remote exec. Okay, so now I'm sending out a whole bunch of traffic over. This is less than ideal, but if it works, it works, and it's happening every 30 seconds, so it's not terrible. And you know what? I was thinking about adjusting that second to give it a little bit of randomness, so if give the players an extra gamble they don't know about, but I'm gonna say the fusion is working as it should, so okay, that's good. Let's see. I'm going to adjust some things so I can hot swap this real quick. So that is saved. We now have a new recharge that just takes the current fuel and then sets it. And then the server will add to the scheduler a new command which will run constantly, and every 30 seconds send out a execution to everyone on the server to say, hey, if you've got the vertibird local to you, please increase its fuel by 0.25% every 30 seconds. So, no, it's only saying increase it 0.25 and the server is going to keep track of the 30 seconds. Let's see, I'm not going to Oh, wait, hold on. I forgot to start doing the warm swapping. So, okay. There's probably better ways of doing this, but you can. I'm going to pack this into a PBO, and then I'm going to put testing at the beginning of it so that it is a new thing. Go into the server, throw that in the MP missions, and then I can go to missions. Then after a while, it'll give me the debrief, and then I can scroll down to vida, and now we have testing. So this is how you warm swap or hot swap or warm swap a new bit of code if you are working on something in a dedicated environment. And I'm receiving a new mission file, so hooray, waiting for more testing to be done. What's that one XKCD where it's like two people fighting on a sword fighting on office chairs, and the boss is like, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" And they're like, "Sorry, our code's compiling." And then the boss is like, "Oh, all right then, carry on." This is not code compilation, but this is a very similar phenomenon in when I should also, like, you know, turn down the respawn values, or even better, test like the scripts in the middle of the game and not have to restart it. But I'm trying to keep it close to the same environment that it's going to perform in. So, you know, the extra minute or two of taking down the server, swapping out the missions, doing things is worth it to me. Okay, local exec, server exec, we are starting at 0.45 of a fuel tank, and we're going to go take a hit from the calorical and then see how long that will take. So, and see if it continues to increase, because we need to make sure that it is consistent, that if nobody's in the vehicle, it goes up. If someone's in the vehicle, it goes up. If someone gets out of the vehicle after having gotten into the vehicle, it continues to go up. And if I am smart, and if I was better at this, I would grab, you show your vulnerability. Shut up. Holy crap, you're primed to come up with a smile and a mysterious nature. I don't know how I programmed this calorical to tell the future, or even like the immediate future, because I was about to show a vulnerability there. If I were smarter, I would have someone else join, and we would test the third bit where someone else who isn't me on my current machine gets in and gets out and makes sure that everything goes up. But I don't think I'm going to do that, because that involves bothering people, and this is just an ARMA thing. And I think it'll work, and if it doesn't work, it's not too terrible. Like, worst case scenario, I, you know, manually update the fuel values. So now I've got 45.75, so 3/4 have gone in. Let's see, so I'm going to write down 45.75, just to make sure I remember that. And then we are going to get into the pilot seat and just kind of sit here and look at my hands and see if this new configuration works, and then try and figure out a way to get the old configuration to work, because I don't know the exact nature of the locality of vehicles. So if this works, I will be happy, but I would prefer to I would prefer at the very beginning of the mission to send a script out that just runs on everyone's machines and keeps everything up to date, instead of having to send out a new script, as short as it is, every 30 seconds, because that's a lot of server. It's not a lot of server traffic, but it is a greater than zero amount of server traffic, so... Alright. 46.25, 46.5. Ooh, look at that. I hit it in the middle of that one again. Alright. And we're going to get out and make sure that it goes better than 4.65. Hey, look, it's working. The bug that I had in the previous incarnations of the code is now gone. This will do, and this will be good enough for a mission with 10 people in it, but if you're one of those weirdos who, you know, puts 80 to 100 people into an ARMA server, God help you. Yeah, this is one of those things that you might not want to do. Again, a server giving out instructions to 10 people every 30 seconds is something, but if you want a significant slowdown every 30 seconds because your server's got to communicate to 100 people, okay, who's got this one vehicle local to them? And, you know, server's got to send out a lot of messages then. And believe me, it's already bogged down with a lot of other bullshit that it's got to go through, so the less you can do, the better. Netcode is one of those things that you could always do a little bit better, pretty constantly. Alright, and then after this hit from the calorical, I'm going to test, and hopefully we will be beyond 0.465, and I will consider that good enough and working after about 35 minutes of work there. If your cookie is in the vicinity of a patient man. I don't know why you're saying if, but yes, I guess. I don't know. Not fortune, I don't know. Okay, local exec 475, server exec 475. Cool. I think I can attempt to sit in here. Don't take a hit from the calorical and fly, kids. Alright, I think if I sit in here, that fuel gauge is going to stop being orange after, once it hits 50%, and we're currently at 475, 4775. So 48% in about 10 minutes that's going to go. And we are not in a single player environment, so I can't just hit the button to make that go. Is there anything I can do right now? I do kind of want to wait just 10 minutes and see if that fuel gauge goes up, but it's working. I don't have to. Okay, but that is how you solve a locality issue. I guess the final code is just putting that this message that's going to be sent out to everybody into a little loop that runs every 30 seconds. That's not the best solution. There is a better solution, but I would have to dig into exactly how the locality on vehicles works, and I really should do that right now. Let's see. Let's just do Arma vehicle locality. And there was another thing that I had up. Yeah, right. This scripting tutorial that was written by Killzone Kid back in 2013 that always keeps coming up. But it is a discussion on MP coding and locality, and I'm wondering if, I mean, very specifically, it is discussing locality, but... Oh, hey, the set fuel command is specific... Okay, hold on. Yeah, let me put this in with the rest of the tabs. And let's actually check set fuel really quickly, because I forgot to have the little stamps there. Yeah, okay. Local argument, global effect. Okay, so the argument has to be made. Hold on. He's got command arguments must be local. If the argument is my player unit, I can only issue the command on my PC. As any other PC, my player's object is remote, so it won't work. Command accepts global arguments. Command to the effect is local. Command is global. Okay. Changes will be broadcast to and happen on every PC and often on JIP PCs too. Oh, this blog post was very specific to my issue, and while I have fixed my issue, I'm going to see if he does it any better. So hell yeah, I'm going to sit here and read this blog post for the next 10 minutes while I logged out of this, so I can't look at the fuel gauge anymore. Shit. Well, that's a shame. I wanted to sit in the cockpit for 10 minutes, and now I got an excuse to. Oh well. Anyway. To know if an object is local to a PC you run your script on, use the local command. It will return true if the tested object belongs to this PC. Converting object to string will also reveal object locality. Non-local objects will have a remote suffix. Hinted the object representing my player on the server. Since the player is always local to my PC, the server variant of it will contain the remote suffix. Cool. Armor 3 also has a handy event handler local, which will fire as soon as the object it is assigned to changes locality. Oh, okay, here's how you would start doing some things here. We're going to make set fuel global. Okay, so he has created this new function with two commands, or two parameters. I should probably use private in my parameters too, but that's fine. It works so far, and I could probably re-look at how I'm doing my code anyway. Vehicle and fuel level. Vehicle is that. If local vehicle, then that else. Oh, that's smart. Okay, that's smart. So only broadcast. So currently, if I were to use this with use this particular thing with my every 30 seconds the server sends it out. Every 30 seconds the server would only send it out if it wasn't already local, and that's a smart cookie thing to do there. So that cuts down on, because if a player gets in, then it's local to their machine, and the broadcasts are going to have to happen anyway. Not really, though, but this is a better implementation. That's a smart way of doing that. Yeah, gotcha. Else, if dedicated, then owner of vehicle public variable client. Oh, okay. He's doing a public variable event handler. That's... okay. Not always optimal, leads to increase in network traffic. Yeah. All clients including the server waiting for a broadcast, and then check the locality of the broadcast vehicle on every PC. If in the previous code example there would be a maximum of 2 extra network calls made at any time to find the owner, in the next code example the minimum extra amount of network calls will be equal to the number of players on the server. Yeah, so see, look, if you thought I was paranoid about net traffic, look at him. He's like, hey, 2 network calls versus network call equal to number of players on the server is bad. And I'm currently reading through this just to see how that would work. Okay, if local, then set it to that, else... Okay, so there's a PV set fuel. So the fact that I'm grabbing the fuel value as well is also... or wait a minute, hold on. Isn't just the fuel... Fuel is a global argument, so yeah, it'll take anything, and as we've seen, it does not have any the setting of the fuel. At no point was the fuel set to like 0 plus 0.25%, because fuel has global. There's no locality there, so that makes sense. And okay. I think I'm going to implement part of this in here, but I don't think I'm going to go so far as to set a public server variable. Because this specific function, you give it a fuel value that it then has to set. I just want whatever the fuel value it currently is to be added by a static amount, so I don't need to actually broadcast the amount of fuel. In fact, it really, because it's working like clockwork and doesn't have to be, yeah, I don't think I need to use the client at all, but I do, that's a smart thing to add in there, so let's go ahead and do that. And then I guess do one more test. Okay, so while true, let's see, we're going to take this back out, and we are going to add this to here. We're going to change a bunch of things around. So every 30 seconds on the server's end, we are going to have that call. We're in a spawn, so... Oh, I'm wondering if I should call this or spawn this. It shouldn't be that bad. We'll see. Okay, so then that is then going to say... Alright, if And this is only running on the server right now, so if local verti, yeah, let's just do then, okay, so if the vertibird is local, then you know what, we're gonna Actually, I think I need a handler for this. I just realized I put the vertibird recharge remote exec within vertibird recharge. That's not a good thing there. So vertibird server handler. It's probably not the best way of describing that, but okay. And then this one is going to do, yeah, vertibird recharge is just yeah, grab that. Look, the code already works perfectly, and yet here I am making it better and probably introducing 1,000 new bugs. Okay, so here we want the if vertibird. Sorry, verti. I need to be careful. Verti is okay, if local verti, then I think I can just call vertibird recharge just there. And then, oops, I always forget the thens there. Alright, and then we're gonna get an else. Alright, so if the vertibird is local to the server, it's going to figure that out and not send extra network traffic. And if it is not local, then we're going to have to send a little bit of network traffic anyway. I think there is still a better way of doing this where you have some script that is already running on the clients that just catches when the vertibird is local and... If I spawn this on every machine, and it has... Oh boy, okay, you know what, let's... I had a thought here, and I do want to attempt it, so... Alright, we're going to keep vertibird handler and vertibird recharge, but we are going to comment this bit out, I think. Yeah, that closes the if is server. Okay. So what if on every machine, including the server, so we're outside of the if is server here, this is going to be running on every client. We have a script spawned in that is going to be, yeah, if local verti, then, so if the vertibird is local to your machine, call vertibird recharge. Is that all I need to? Oh, I forgot the loop. Right. So, okay, so this script spawns that says forever, sleep 30, every 30 seconds. If the vertibird is local to your machine, then do the recharge. I'm going to try this. I think this could be a solution to how that functioned. Let's go ahead and take down the server really quick, and then I'm going to test this in the Eden editor and the mission, or the editor environment. No, maybe I should have hot swapped it. Never mind. Okay, you know what? Let's just, since we've gone to all the trouble to set this up and to begin with. All right, save that. We're going to yeah, I guess I'll get a new testing in there. MP missions. Let's pack that in there. Okay, server. Oops, I always misclick Steam app, like Steam apps in okay. The server is going to boot up. You know what? Fuck it. We are in the middle of testing things right now, so yes. Wait, what? Okay, no, just get rid of episode 4 on there. I don't know why I'm being so touchy here. Again, I'm not. Usually have to put the testing in front of it when you're hot swapping because they need different things. You can't just overwrite the mission that you're currently running, but we're not running the mission at the moment, so might as well. And the server has been configured to just open up episode 4 when it first boots up. Okay, that's the thing. Let's go ahead and close that out. Okay, wait for the server to boot up once again. Haha, I solved the problem in 35 minutes and now I'm going to keep going. This is how you work on can code for like 3 days. You think, oh man, you just crack open a cold one, throw the can away. Nope, so many issues, so many little things just kind of start piling up. Okay, come on, is this thing running yet? Did attempt to start it, right? Yeah, it is booting. Okay, super engaging video where I just kind of sit here and don't say anything for a couple of minutes, but now that that's started up, yeah, I think I'm gonna warm swap, hot swap, whatever that terminology is, I forget. I think I'm going to attempt to do that from now on, but okay, time to receive a new mission file and hurry up and wait some more. Okay, loaded. There we go. Alright, good. Things are functioning, hopefully. But yeah, no, I am curious to see if I get the exact same effect from the code that I'm currently running, because that one's better, and I don't think has any network calls. Like, let me open that back up while I'm respawning, but I don't think I use the Vertibird server handler at all. This has 0 network calls, which is where I would like to be. Right, got to log in. 4525, so far so good. It appears to be charging. Yeah, 4525. Probably gonna V soon 455. Let's go ahead and take the hit from the calorical just to pass the time. Okay, the cookie one was pretty off base, but let's see if this one goes back to just immediately telling my future. If you're riding ahead of the virtues, but the form of denial. Okay. That one is grammatically confusing. Alright, I'm weighing the pros and cons of my current implementation because I think with the fact people who join in progress do get that initialization, but it's not going to be synced with everyone else. In fact, I don't think any of these are synced up, actually. As clients connect, they're going to have different timings on when they call for the fuel to be redone. So really super duper clever players might say, we need to recharge like 5% of this right now. Everybody look into the timings on your on the recharge factors and see if there are enough of them right in a row so that you jump in the pilot seat and then jump out, and then I jump in the pilot seat and jump out, and that charges the battery, 1% in, 20 seconds instead of 2 minutes or something like that. We have done enough waiting. 4625. Nice. That is currently working. Alright, we are at 4625. I think that bug where the clever players can kind of turbocharge the Vertibird quickly if they are super duper like hacking into things is a worthwhile downside to the upside of absolutely no netcode being required for this. A script is spawned on every client. It is not quite synchronized, but that's fine. That is an okay as long as approximately every 30 seconds the code fires and charges it a little bit. We don't need all that much fine-tuning. In fact, I almost wanted to put a randomizer into the 30 seconds. One, to maybe dissuade players from doing the hacky bits, but also two, so if someone's actually paying attention, they'll be like, okay, well, the helicopter last mission charged at about 90%, and this mission charged 110%, so it's variable, so I can't. And that variability is already going to be in there because the asynchronous nature of what's currently happening in the code here. But I think that is not only okay and a known shippable bug, but also desirable. It's not a bug, it's a feature. Or 7, that is working. Yeah, we are currently at 0.47 right now, just kind of sitting in here. Cool. Okay, I went through 3 iterations of that code. I believe it is working right now. 1 iteration that just didn't work. Actually, 4 iterations, I think. The first iteration that I just showed at the beginning where it didn't work. the second iteration where I went through remote execution and then didn't get that to work, but then went through another way. I don't know. I went through a bunch of iterations of this code from requiring netcode back down to no longer requiring netcode anymore, because I forgot that the local function exists. But yeah, no, my server is not the best. It is just the machine sitting next to me right now. I don't do anything on anybody else's machine. I like being able to tinker with it. And what the hell? Who's messaging me right now? Oh well. Who even is that? Oh, okay, sure. I won't red pond. That. Okay, that's weird. Yeah, 4775. I'm gonna get out and make sure that it still works here. True test is going to see if the player, if other players work, so getting someone else to get into there and get out, but it's working as good as the netcode one worked, but without any netcode, so I would call this great success. More successful than I was at 35 minutes, having spent another 30-ish minutes. Do what you want to do, then do what you fear. That's this stupid fortune cooking thing was a great idea. And it is still ticking along. Okay, so the vertibird now successfully recharges itself and doesn't require netcode. Cool. I think that'll be good for this video. I think I spent a little bit too much time on this minor feature, but hey, now it's here. Now you know the kind of things you have to go through in order to deal with locality and vehicles for tiny, itty, bitty little scripts. This script is just that, and vertibird recharge, which is another 2 lines after that, so yeah, 10 lines of code, maybe. I'm trying to think if there are any other shortcomings to this, especially because there's a while true in here. Um, that while true could maybe be, I don't know. But yeah, we don't need any of the synchronization. There's a bunch of other little things that we could do, but we don't really need to do, and it is, and this is good for the situation that we're doing here. So I'm going to go ahead and put a check mark next to that. Probably delete the vertibird server handler. Let's actually like go through and clean up the code. We got the vertibird recharge. Right. I'm going to get rid of that and put a comment in here that says this is the vertibird fusion recharger. Just throw that in there. In fact, let's see. Reorganize that so that all that code is, what the hell, I accidentally hit something else. Okay, so all that code is together now and looks a little cleaner. I could probably get rid of this white space. Oops, don't get rid of that semicolon. Let's see. This should probably go somewhere in here, and I've already done one refactor. This used to be a lot worse. After the code refactor, I put a whole lot of things out of the init and into a proper place. I gotta think if I want to put all this vertibird code in its own little bit. Maybe rename done. I don't know. I should probably take the license plate code out of dumb shit and then have the vehicle code put in its own thing. But for now, this will work. There's only one more mission after this one. Fingers crossed. Maybe. And I think this will be good. I can't think of anything else to do in the short term, so yeah, there's another hour that I put into this, making sure the vertibird recharges correctly. As a bonus, because, hey, maybe someone will watch this in the future, I am going to first give myself Zeus really quick. Holy crap, that is taking its time. And for shits and giggles, because there was a choice between two things for what the mechanic does, either repairs the BMP or adds a gun and makes the vertibird better. And I think I was gonna be a little bit of a what was that BMP called? I forget. I was gonna be a little bit of a troll and give you a BMP 2. No, not that. Well, yes, that one, but not the CSAT version. But yeah, no, just the ZU on top of that. And of course they started shooting me. I'm down, right? Yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna put them over here. And we'll just ignore the, which one was I going to do? I think it was probably the Pakistani army one. But yeah, the BMP-3 got completely destroyed, so it was going to be repaired and replaced with this, which is just, you know... I think that's technically still a cannon. What is the... Let me get in the gunner seat here. Because the 2A14... I think is still a cannon. 2A14... 152 millimeter, okay. 23 millimeter, 23 by 152 millimeter, gotcha. And it is an autocannon, so yes, you would have had a BMP with a cannon on it. So history would have gotten his wish, just not in the way you would have thought. Yeah, it was either going to be that or probably just like another APC with just a machine gun on the top of it. But this is just so wonky looking. I wanted it to be somehow a part of this. I don't know how. But you all have chosen the Vertibird upgrade, so you will not be getting this particular APC. APC by the definition of the Eden editor. I remember there was an infantry fighting vehicle versus APC discussion, and it says APCs here. I don't see IFVs in here. I think they got tanks, though, which is also weird. But that doesn't matter too much. Okay, so that's that, and the little Easter egg is there, and that will be that video done. What the hell, that guy just Steam messaged me about? I'm actually kind of